Good morning, everyone. Just before we leave this wonderful accommodation that two supporters booked for us for 2 days as a family, I want to make this video that I think is very, very relevant, especially for events that took place in the past 2 weeks, and especially what everyone is speaking about with regards to what will be happening tomorrow. And when I think of people in a country and how they can focus on one thing when there's an entire country with 58 million people in it, with thousands of towns, etc., it's amazing how the media has been able to focus people's minds on one thing and make as if that is the be all and end all. And when you look at logic and when you look at reason, it makes no sense to say that an entire country is in a specific situation or thought process because of an event that happens in one town. And I want to address this in this video because there's two things that I want to speak about specifically. The first thing is the fact that a political party that I've refused to speak about before on this platform is now starting to take on a new role. And their leader, Julius, he has started to come forward by saying things where before you have literal political banter which has existed forever, that's supposed to drive division, and that's supposed to make people think that he's not only an extremist but someone that the extreme left would follow, mainly just to control them. But in this case, his masters are starting to change their plans, and this is becoming clear. So you can just look at the actions and the things that Julius Malema says to see who the people that fund him and the people that fund the party of whom he is the president, what they are starting to drive as the narrative, because it's not his narrative. This is a South African narrative specifically for a world influence. And this world influence wants one thing in this country right now: to test the waters for civil war. In other words, see what the appetite is for a civil war to start. And by Julius Malema tweeting an AK-47 rifle, and by saying that he's not afraid of certain cultural or racial groups, it's not like it's something new, but what he is doing now is he is trying to create an opposition where there was no real organized opposition before. And it took one court case in a town in the Free State to create a possibility of opposition, and he is now testing the waters to see if he can drive this to a new level, which means that the narrative has changed. The narrative is simply now, how can we get the people of the country to get behind two extremist views when the majority of people in the country are not extremists? Not interested in war, not interested in civil war, not interested in fighting, just wanting to get along and live a normal life. And the media is driving this narrative. The media is giving these extremist views airplay. And this tells you one thing: a narrative is being driven that doesn't consider your or my family's and your family's safety at all. These people don't care about collateral damage. If they are willing to stand at the forefront of the fight and take the first bullet, then I will say that they are legitimate. And then you should really fear what they are doing. But this is not the case. They actually want other people, maybe someone that has had too much to drink or has had a couple of too many pills or drugs or whatever, to do something that a normal, sane, rational person would not do. And then try to hopefully kickstart something across the country, which will never happen because the people don't have the appetite for it, and give us bad international media. But what this can do is try and give the government a reason, just like the Americans got a reason with Pearl Harbor to drop nuclear weapons on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, even when they created this themselves. They are looking for a reason to declare a state of emergency. And all it takes is a couple of idiots to make this happen. Idiots that don't think properly, and a bunch of men, grown men, behaving like brats and lighties that are shooting mice and rats in the bush to actually go out and maybe for the first time shoot a human being. Something they don't quite understand, because there are families, friends, emotions, and many other things behind that human being. And once you do that, you start to create a situation that this country does not want. So I just want to say one simple thing. To anyone that wants to get involved in a conflict that is not yours to fight, stop it. The other thing that I want to say is that any group, no matter where in the country, whether it's in an informal settlement, in a rural area, in a farming area, wherever, protect yourself. Don't trust the government or the police service or any other institution to do it for you. Organize in your communities to protect yourselves. If you are not organized, criminals and terrorists will kill you. This is not rocket science. It is common sense. Do not trust the very government that you lament and moan and bitch about to protect you. It makes no logic sense to do that. So organize in your communities. Across the country where I'm touring right now, this is exactly what we are asking people to do. Do you think that people actually do this? Yes, they are starting to. And this is what matters, is to find the people that are willing to work together to make their community safer. And the farming community will be no different. When they suffer enough, they will change their current ways and they will start looking after each other. You cannot trust the police to do that, or the military to do that, or anyone else. So stop calling for a state of disaster. Stop calling for anything that you really do not want at this stage to try and stop farm attacks or farm terrorist attacks or whatever the case may be. There is violence happening everywhere throughout the country, and it's going to take citizens in those areas to protect themselves where they are. If citizens come together, they train themselves properly, they arm themselves properly, and they know how to defend themselves, no military in the world will come into your country unless they use nuclear weapons and overrun you. It's not possible. And any military leader and commander knows this. This is why many people have made warnings about tomorrow, saying that a lot of people are emotional and they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. So good luck to those people that want to behave like children, that want to carry on like someone that has no idea what war is. Because once you've been in a war, you will be more responsible, you will be more mature, and you will know what you are dealing with. If there's any deliberate fight against you, which no one has said there's going to be in any instance in South Africa, you need to be properly prepared, trained, and organized, and working together as a team in any place in the world to be able to win or have a chance to win a fight. Just remember this. So if you're not organized in any way, form, or shape, you stand absolutely no chance, and you're like a bunch of drunks in a pub fight going at each other. Anything can happen. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for subscribing to this channel. Click the bell icon if you want notifications on further videos, and I'll keep you updated. Till the next video.